Alive.
So today's assignment is hands-on the distributive property and partial quotients. All right, hands-on assignments are typically hard to do on paper. Actually, I guess the one yesterday with the models is harder to do on paper than this one. But same thing applies here. We're going to. This works now. We're going to divide. And this time though, we're gonna split it up. You guys remember what we did with the distributive property when we have 369 right here, and we're gonna split that. We're gonna make it expanded format. How do we make an expanded form? How do we split 369 up?
360 or 300 plus 60 plus 9.
All right, 300 plus 60 plus 9. You remember that? That's how we do that.
Yeah.
And if you notice right here, that's what they have. You're gonna model this as 300 plus 60 plus 9, like that. All right, and we have that right here in this section here. We're going to divide each section by the divisor 3. So you can see they've taken 300 divided by 3, 60 divided by 3, and 9 divided by 3. So can we go ahead and say 300 divided by 3 is what?
100.
Yeah, right. 3 goes into 3 how many times?
1.
And then there's 2 zeros we have to put over here, right? So that equals 100. How many times will 3 go inside of 6?
2.
And how many zeros are there?
2.
1, right? Right there.
Oh.
3 goes into 9 how many times?
3.
So there's no zeros, right? So when you add those up, what do you get?
123.
123, right? So they've done exactly kind of the same thing right here. Is they said, well, 3 goes into 300 100 times. 3 goes into 60, you already said 20 times. 3 goes into 9 3 times. And then again, when you add those up, you're going to get 123.
1, 2, 3. No, Shannon,
This is just-
it's basically 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. This is just another way, instead of doing the boxes like we did yesterday, 3, and then we had 6, and then we had 9 right here. We had to do that. And then we had to take those and put it in groups right now. We're just going to use the distributive property today to do that. Yes. What?
Can we do it like this because it's like easier?
Like what?
The circle thing.
It is easier, but like I told somebody yesterday, I said, guys, we learned different. Look at the main question here. What strategies can be used to divide whole numbers? This is just another strategy that we're teaching. All right, we have several different strategies, and eventually we're going to get to that, or we already have. But it's building up to that big division thing that we're going to start on Monday. All right. Go ahead and turn to the next page. You have partial quotients. Partial quotients is a method of dividing where you break the dividend into add-ins that are easy to divide. So we're going to try that right here. Now we kind of got that right here, didn't we? Hey, you. We kind of got that right here, don't we?
Yeah.
Kind of go back to this method you did right here. I'm sorry, I can't breathe.
I can't breathe too.
Hang on a second. They took what we have done in the past where we 738. Will 6 go into 7 evenly? No. Will it go into 73 evenly? No. What number would this have to be? It would have to be a 6, right, to go into it evenly. So what they've done here is they said, okay, let's go ahead and say 600 here. All right, well, how many times does 6 go into 600? 6 goes into 100, right? So that's where they get the partial quotients right there. And then they go ahead and subtract that, and you're going to get 138. And now they look at it, and normally we would say, how many times does 6 go inside of 138? Again, we want to look at a number here. Does 6 go into 13?
No.
But it does go into what?
12.
So that's where they wrote the 12 in here, and then they threw a 0 down here. And how many times does 6 go into 12?
20. 2.
Yeah, 2 and then a 0, right? So 20. And then they went ahead and subtracted this to 18. And then they say, well, how many times does 6 go into 18?
3.
That's where they get the 3. And you get a 0 in the end. So when you add those up, what do you get?
1, 2, 3. 0.
Which again, if you didn't notice, that was, 123 on this side. 1, 2, 3 again. Yeah, right. 1, 2, 3. And let's see if that's what they have here. 1, 2, 3. basically, right there. All right. So that's partial quotients, and we'll have more of those problems to do. More on those problems to do. Get it? More on.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay, thank you.
So funny.
I need a drum roll.
Funny, you're calling us a moron.
Thank you. There we go, drum roll. That's not a drum. That's not a drum roll. You're daring me to jump off the side of a cliff. Do it! Let's do it! I'm not doing it. All right. This first one here, we're going to use the distributive property, which is what we use on the front page. That means we're going to split these guys up right here. All right, so how are we going to split 248 up, expand 248? How are we going to expand 248, Sailor?
200
Okay,
plus 40
okay.
plus 8.
All right, so Sailor, what we're going to do now is we're going to look at divide all of those by 2, right? That 2 right there. So Sailor, how many times will 2 go inside of 200? She says 100. Sailor, how many times will 2 go inside of 40? 20. How many times, Sailor, will 2 go inside of 8? And when you add those up, what do you get? Good job.
1, 2, 4.
That method's pretty easy, isn't it?
Yes. Is it just gonna go 1, 2?
I kind of like that method. How about this one here? 963. Oh, where did Colton? All right, Colton, right here. What do we split this up into?
960 plus 3
A 900.
plus 60 plus 3.
Thank you. Good. Now we're going to divide all of these up by 3. You can do it this way, or you can do it the other way they did. I just do it this way. Colton, how many times does 3 go inside of 900?
300.
300. All right, how many times does 3 go inside of 60?
This is math I don't know here.
How many times does 3 go into 6?
2.
And then we have how many zeros?
Add that 1 0.
And then how many times does 3, Colton, go into 3?
That's just the 1.
That's just the 1. Now you add those up, what do you get?
321.
321. Correct. Good job, bud.
I didn't even have to do all that work, and I still got it
You didn't
right.
have to do all that work, and you get it all right. All right. How about the next one? 585. We're going to have to use partial quotients down there. Just keep that in mind. We'll be circling back to that. Holly. How are we going to split 585 up, Holly?
580.
500, she says. 80 and 5. Let's divide each of those by what?
5.
Okay. Now, Holly, how many times does 5 go into 500? How many times does 5 go into 80?
16.
Good job. 16 times.
And then that's just
1. And then we add those up. What do you get?
170.
100 and what? 17, yeah. 117, everybody got that?
Yeah.
I think it makes that kind of easy to divide. It almost makes it easier than the standard long division, in a way. Brighton, how do you do that one? You want to be on camera today, Brighton?
No.
Is that Brighton? There you go.
Yeah.
No, okay, we'll get you back over here. All right.
I would have preferred to be on camera,
All right, go ahead.
but 400,
Yeah,
80,
yeah,
and 8.
yeah.
Okay. And I'll be right there.
Put a 4 where right here.
No. 12. Over there, yeah. 12.
Okay, go ahead.
How many times? How many is that? 4? 100 times.
Okay, now
4.
4 goes into 80. How many times does 4 go into 8?
4. Wait, no.
2. How many zeros?
1.
How many times does 4 go into 8?
2.
Add those together, what do you get?
122.
You know, you guys, again, who was it that asked before? Why we got to do it this way? Was that you? Yeah, it was you. I think that's easier.
It is. Yeah, it is easy.
You don't have to subtract. All you do is add. All you do is multiply almost,
Under
really.
homework, do we have to do
Okay.
that other way?
Well, since that's what we're learning today, then yes, we have to do it this
It's
way.
not hard.
I mean,
It's
the
just
other
like
way.
The other way? Well, let's look at the other way because it's right here. Use partial quotients. Let's go ahead and write it out like this. 654 divided by 3. Now, I think some of us are making it a little bit harder than what it really has to be. And really, I kind of made it in my own head a little harder than this has to be.
Ooh, I love this way.
But I look at it and I say, well, 3 go into 6.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and say this is 600, right?
Never mind, I hate this way.
600, right? I'm going to make that a 600. How many times will 3 go into 600?
200.
It goes into it 200 times, right? So, hang on. Gonna put the 2 up here, right? Subtract those, what do you get?
54.
Sorry, I gotta get 200 right here. I gotta put 200 over here, don't I? Sorry, I gotta put 200 over there. Forget that one right there. So when you subtract those, what do you get?
54.
Okay. Will 3 go inside of 5 evenly?
No.
But it will go inside of what evenly?
6.
60, right? So how many times will 3 go into 60?
20 times.
20 times. Wait a second. I'm doing something wrong here, aren't I?
No. No. Shouldn't be. Yes, you are. No, you're not.
Yeah, I rounded up on that one. Hang on. I rounded up on that one.
Okay, don't do them. Don't do them.
All right, we've erased that because we don't like partial products. We're going to go ahead and do distributive property, okay? Because we like distributive property. It's easier. I don't know why you even learn the other one. You can do it this way. Lauren, what are we going to break these 654 into?
600 plus 50 plus 4.
Good. All right, Lauren.
How many times can 3 go into 6? Twice. That's 200.
Okay.
And then how many times can 3 go into 5? That's 10. Once. So we put a 10.
So here's the problem, though, because those other ones, right, it went into it evenly. But when we use partial quotients, it doesn't work that way. But see, we got stuff that doesn't work that way. So sometimes I think it's important that we don't learn division.
Yeah, that's just nice. Yeah.
So here, okay, I see what we did here. I'm sorry. I saw what we did. What they did here was they said 3 goes into 600 200 times. To subtract that, they changed this to a 30 because you can't round up when you do partial products. I rounded up. Remember, I said 60. Well, you can't do that because you're going to get too big of a number down here. You got to round down. So instead, right here, they said this one number here, we're going to go down to a 30. See what I'm saying? It's kind of a difficult process to think of here. And then they said, well, 3 goes into 30 10 times, and then you get subtract that, and then you get 8. So I see how they did it, but always remember, and we'll practice on this next one. You don't need to write that first one down. Round down to help you out on that one.
You just showed us who the answer.
Well, I showed
all of them.
none of you wrote it down that fast. You wrote the answer.
I did.
You might have written the answer down, but I'm not going to say you actually did the thing that fast. So this one right here. Maybe we'll get this one right for the video. Are we going to round that up to 1,000, or are we going to round that down to 500?
500.
500, right? We want to round down. So 500. So how many times will 5 go into 500? Right? 100 times. So we got 100 over here. Subtract that. What are you going to get?
175. 175.
175. Now, will 5. We want to find a number. Does 5 go into 1 evenly? No. Does 5 go into 17 evenly? No. We don't want to go to 200, do we? Because that would be too much down here. We don't need that. So we're going to go down. So what should that be? Instead of a 17, it's going to be
15.
a 15, right? So 150. So how many times will 5 go into 15? 5 goes into 15 3 times. How many zeros are there? 1. Subtract that. You get 25.
Hey, put a 1.
Huh?
I put 30.
Oh, I didn't I? Sorry. And then how many times will 5 go under 25? 5. And this gives you 25. And you subtract that, you're going to get 0. So you add those together, you get 135. Let's see if I'm right on that one. If I am, I give up. All right, 135. There you go.
Okay, do we have to do any of these on our homework?
Let's do one more to practice it. Hey, I've taught myself. I'm not too proud to admit on camera. You know, some virtual kids might be watching this. That I messed up. I had to learn this myself because I don't normally. you guys should know this as much as anybody. Usually when it came to this stuff, I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that crap. Do it the old way. And then we do it the old way. All right. But I'm not too proud to admit I taught myself how to do it. All right. 351 divided by 3. Will 3 go into 3?
No.
Yeah.
So we're gonna round that to 300. How many times will 3 go into 300? 100 times. You're gonna put 100 over here. Okay, remember we got this line right here? 100. Subtract that. What are you gonna get?
151.
Ethan?
Yeah.
So will 3 go into 5 evenly?
No.
Thank you. We're gonna make it a 30. How many times will 3 go into 30?
2 times.
10 times, right? Subtract that. What are you gonna get?
21.
21. Will 3 go into 21?
Yes.
How many times?
7.
Add those together, you get?
117.
See, it's not so bad.
Yeah, that's what you think. That's what you think.
I'm pretty sure
That's what you think.
Huh?
Okay, do we have the golden
Golden
child?
child.
Asher's the golden child?
Yes,
he always has.
But he's not gold.
Then he's the tan.
The golden child.
Hey, but he's not gold.
All right.
Gold.
Then he's tan child.
Since Ireland loves this so much, we're going to continue.
No!
Don't make me the one who says I like to. Yes, I'd like to.
No.
I can say Maddie loves it.
I'll tell you what we're going to do.
Hello.
Homework together here.
Yeah.
Basically, since you all taught me how to do the what's the method? Partial quotient method today. All right. So we're using distributive on this one right here. So how are we going to split up 844, Laura?
844.
844, right? We divide all these by what, Laura?
4.
4, she says, without any kind of attitude. All right. As she chews her gum. Emma, how many times will 4 go into 800? 2. Okay, how many times will 4 go into 4? Deep?
1.
10. How many times will 4 go into 4, Emma?
1.
Add them together.
211.
That was easy, right?
211.
Yeah.
That was easy. All right.
It's so
That was really easy.
so really.
So, see, this here doesn't actually... Shh. Hey, you're slowing me down. So this one doesn't actually say which one you have to use, so you kind of have to figure out which one to use. So what I would do is look at this and say, well, I'm reading the question. We have the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade classes of 396. Take a field trip over 3 days. How many students can go each day? I look at this, I think, well, 3 goes in each one of those, right? 3 goes into 9, 3 goes into 3, 3 goes into 6, right? So I would go ahead and use the distributive property on this one. How you going to split 396 up for that one, Ireland?
90.
And then I'm going to divide all those by what, Ireland?
3.
3. And then we look at it and we say, well, how many times does 3 go into 300? 100. How many times does 3 go into 90?
30.
If 3 goes into 6? 2. And we add those together, what do we get? 132. All right. So this one right here, wait, what is this?
I don't know. It's the same one.
It's the same problem.
No, it's not.
Oh, we gotta do it the other way.
Wait, yeah, it is.
Oh, is that what I want you to do?
Yeah.
Well, not really.
It doesn't say. We just do it the same way we get it.
It doesn't say. I mean, you got Colton wants to buy a video game system in 3 months.
We're both famous.
The video game system costs $396. $396.
Both of us are famous.
If you save the same amount each month, it's the same problem. So you're gonna have.
132.
132. Oh my god.
Wait,
the next one that we say.
You would have done the same thing right here.
No, it's not there.
I mean, both of these right here.
132.
Would
That's what they want you to do.
Okay, sure.
Send this problem to heaven.
let's do that then real quick. Hang on. Let's just see what they're proving here.
Great sight.
They're proving nothing.
396 divided by 3. Well, 3 definitely goes into 3, right? So that's gonna be How many times will 3 go into 300? 100 times. Subtract those, you're going to get
96.
3 goes into 9, right? So we're going to use a 90 here. How many times will 3 go into 90?
30.
30 times. Subtract those, you're going to get 6. 3 goes into 6, how many times?
2 times.
So that's still going to be 132. They just want you to do, I guess probably, it didn't say both ways on there though, did it?
No, it didn't.
It didn't say, so I guess they're just insinuating that the teacher would tell you that, but I don't know. Oh, yeah, I'm the teacher. Sometimes I forget that. All right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh, yeah. Oh, I'm supposed to do something with you guys. Hang on.
We'll have to do the other way on this one because 4 can't go into 5.
That is true.
No, right.
That is true. Ray says 4 doesn't go into. Good job, Ray.
Can't go into 2.
It can't go into 2 either. So 852 divided by 4. So will 4 go into 8?
Yeah, 2 times.
So that's going to be 800, right? So 4 goes into 800 how many times?
200.
200 times. Subtract those. What do we get?
52.
So 4 doesn't go into 5, so we're going to have to change it to what now?
40.
40. Let's do 40, all
That's
right?
what I did.
How many times will 4 go into 40?
10 times.
10 times. Subtract that, you're going to get 12. How many times will 4 go into 12?
3 times.
So add those together, what do you get?
213.
Good job, Ray. You the man.
This is gonna ruin my big boy team.
Good job.
Can like a fairy do this? A fairy godmother? That would want to do it. Big boy team. I'm just so confused. Can fairy godmother does that for one and automatically do it?
All right, let's go ahead and go down to this one right here. Hey. This one here is asking for the answer because it says what's the quotient. So really, this is well, here.
Really? What about the other
Dividend. Break the dividend. Ah! She said dividend. All right, so we're going to go ahead and break this up right here. How many times will 2 go into 400?
200.
How many times will 2 go into 80?
40.
2 goes into 2.
241. That's what I got.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you got or what you sold?
That's all.
I was doing that problem.
I'm hesitant in even posting this video.
Don't even post it. You didn't actually. When you said the golden child, you didn't actually put it at Asher.
At you? Well, there you go. This is the golden child. All right.
No, Asher is the golden child.
Well, that was a mess, but hopefully.
Except for here. Show Asher. Show Asher since he's the golden child. I know. Show Asher. Too loud, baby. Not the golden child. He's the golden child.
That's the day in the life of a 5th grade teacher during a quarantine when they can't leave the classroom.